Hello everybody, my name is E-Train, and today we'll be talking about the fantastic historical fiction novel, War and Millie McGonigle. War and Millie McGonigle is a realistic fiction novel that takes place in San Diego in 1941 to 1942. Millie is the oldest of three siblings, Millie, Lily, and Pete. Millie is a strong 12-year-old girl who's obsessed with death. The reason she's interested in death is because her grandmother gave her a notebook to draw dead creatures in, or so she thinks. Lily is Millie's sickly sister who has a lung disease that causes Lily to have fevers, coughing attacks, and other symptoms. Pete is Millie's curious little brother who loves newspaper comic heroes and his big sister Millie. Unfortunately, Millie isn't fond of Lily because she tends to get most of the attention due to her lung disease. Every day, Millie walks along the shoreline at nearby Mission Bay, carves her last name McGonigle in the sand for good luck, and goes off on her way. Eventually, she makes a friend in Rosie, and they seem to have a lot in common. That is, until the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. In a dramatic turn of events, Millie and her family heard through the radio that Pearl Harbor had been bombed, and the U.S. entered World War II. San Diego was frantic. Due to the war and limited supplies, food prices went up, as well as poverty. Yet, through it all, Rosie was undeterred. Sure, she was a little distraught, but she didn't stay in her house, afraid of potential invading enemies. Millie noticed that about Rosie, and eventually realized the true meaning of her grandmother's notebook. It wasn't to draw dead organisms. The notebook was to remind Millie to live life to the fullest and enjoy her time in the world. I really liked the main characters in this novel. Millie is a strong-willed, curious 12-year-old, despite the constant bullies and ignorant people in her life. Millie's little sister Lily may have scary lung disease, but she still manages to make the most of her life and have fun during the short periods of time where she isn't coughing or wheezing. Finally, Rosie, who's not the typical 15-year-old, doesn't care about boys and isn't constantly afraid like most girls her age. Instead, Rosie finds a way to stay true to herself, have fun, and keeps a positive attitude, despite the constant pressure of being a teenager during war times. War and Millie McGonigle was outstanding. I recommend this realistic fiction novel to middle grade readers aged 11 to 13. The story not only has outstanding characters and scenes, but it also teaches you about World War II and how it affected people who weren't drafted into the war. While there were many uplifting moments, the story was sad and was a great perspective of how people felt when their family left for war. It also touched on how citizens were always worrying for the Nazis or Japanese to attack. This story is a 10 out of 10, and I hope that you check out this book in your local library. I, for one, loved it. It was recommended to me by a librarian, and I read it in a flash. War and Millie McGonigle is up for a Newbery Award, so that's also pretty exciting. Bye everybody and have a great day.